Welcome back to the A-Flo Show podcast. My name is Andres Flores. Made it to a Wednesday afternoon. Thank you for joining me here on the A-Flo Show. Always find the show on iTunes. Just search the A-Flo Show. You can follow me on Twitter at A-Flo Radio as well. That's where I'll be, guys. Doing a quick little show here for you today. Not even a show, just a little segment, little podcast segment, talking some sports here on the A-Flo Show. Again, A-Flo Radio on Twitter. Got to touch on the Yankees bouncing back nicely after the debacle that was the Boston series that happened over the weekend here. Now on a Wednesday, got two more against the Mets tonight and tomorrow night. They'll be in Citi Field in Queens, New York, taking on the Mets there. Also, a little bit of Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott talk today, as well as Zeke now going for trying to appeal that 6-game suspension. A little bit more on that here in just a bit. Everybody's starting football tech in the middle of camp. As I mentioned, the Cowboys, Lubbock Cooper starting on Monday. I was out there for the beginning of their practice there. And Pat Mahomes doing a nice little job there for the Kansas City Chiefs. I was back on Friday night, and now there's talks and rumors about him possibly being a starter this year, for sure next year. We'll see what happens with all that kind of stuff. So a lot to get to here today. And the Premier League also taking shape. We might have to talk about that tomorrow. Aiden Hammond will be on the podcast Friday night. Maybe you can come out Saturday morning for those interested in the Aiden Hammond podcast. He's down to talk some soccer, some World Cup soccer, maybe a year out. So we'll get that on Friday, Saturday morning as well. I plan on having Wayne Hutchinson, the coach for the Monterey Plainsmen, on as well here at the A-Flo Show. Thank you for making this part of your day. Wherever you may be, however you may be. Let's go ahead and start on the Yankees. Again, I said bounce back nicely, get a couple of wins over the New York Mets after the Red Sox series. And then now I'll take you back just a little bit to that Sox series. Is Friday night, probably the biggest win of the season. You had to come from behind. It's late in the ball game, and you end up winning that one in extra innings. And you thought, you're good there. You thought you're good. You're going to have Severino. You're going to have, Montgomery, who's probably been two of your better pitchers as of late. Again, Tanaka making news going on the DL. Sabathia going on the DL. And that may not be as big as a thing as we think. Sabathia may be back within that 10 days. I knew he had a bullpen the other day. But, yeah, going back to that Sox series, and you just thought winning Friday night, you're set up nicely to take 2 out of 3 and then possibly still a third one. You were going to have Sale no matter what. Sunday night. And Sale did his stuff. Sale did Sale. Sale was Sale. I think he had 12 strikeouts in the ballgame, and the Yankees couldn't figure him out. They, however, do end up in a situation where they are leading in the 9th inning, and Aroldis Chapman blows that lead, and the Red Sox win it in 10 innings and take the series 2-1. A couple things out of that is obviously Chapman. What are we going to do with him? Girardi's already saying he's going to be the closer. He is the closer. There's no change there regardless. And the Yankees are a team that has, they have 4 or 5 closer quality types, and they're going to stick with Chapman, which is fine. I don't have that big of a deal with sticking with Chapman right now. It's painful to watch, don't get me wrong. I cringe every time he's on the mound. The fact that he can't throw a strike consistently really, really upsets me, but hey, you're paying him that much money to be the closer. He's got to be the closer. He has the stuff to be the closer. He's just got to figure it out. Now, do you rest him? Well, like I said, you have the 5 quality arms in that bullpen to close, so maybe it's a possibility. You're middle of August. There's still a lot of baseball left to be played, and right now you're still in a situation where you are going to make the playoffs. You're in the wild card hunt. That Red Sox lead, yes, it looks bad right now, but I don't think it's that bad. You got to play them this weekend, and you got to play them a couple of weeks from now as well. I think you still have maybe 7 more games against the Red Sox from here on out to the regular season. So, right now you just got to, if you're the Yankees, you got to sit down and you got to look, you got to say, hey, what do we want to do? At the trade deadline, you were a team clearly wanting to go for it all. You were like, yes, we're going for the division. We're going to win it. We're going to get Gray. We're going to get Garcia. We're going to get Frazier. We're going to get bullpen help. Now, the Red Sox don't lose. Tough team to beat. So, me as a fan, go for the division championship. Still, it's still there. It's not quite out of reach, but I'm sure some fans And don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. They've kind of lowered their expectations. Not that we've had high expectations throughout the whole season, but now they're kind of aiming for that wild card spot, and then I think it's understandable. It's understandable, and if the Yankees end up making the playoffs, I think it's great. Everybody was shooting and aiming towards 2018, 2019, whenever you were going to have a little bit more these younger guys to play a little bit more, have a little bit more confidence, and then you get the signings of either Machado or Bryce Harper, whoever the Yankees were going to go out to go get in that free agent period. But if you can slip into the playoffs here in 2017, even if it's a wild card, I think it's got to be a successful season. I think you re-sign Joe Girardi. I think you re-sign Brian Cashman, and you go from there. I've always said if you get into that wild card spot, then there's always a chance to go ahead and at least win that one game and go on to the division series. And who knows what can happen? It's a best of 5 game series in the CS. It's the best of 7 game series, so anything can happen in those things. Again, the Mets series, you take care of business. You got to sweep this. You sweep them at home. You go on the road for 2 now at Citi Field. You got to win both of them. No doubt about it. You have to beat the Mets in these 4 games, have some momentum going into the Sox series in Boston, and just try to take 2 out of 3 from them. I mean, a sweep would be nice, but that's probably asking a lot. Again, Sabathia, Tanaka on the DL. Gumby looked good Sunday night. Severino had a bad night. That's uncharacteristic of Sevion last Saturday. Don't see that happening. Sonny Gray looked good, and we'll go from there. Luis Sessa on the DL now. That's fine. Spot start. That's fine. Brian Mitchell's still around. Chad Green, still around. So I'm not worried as much there. Speaking of Harper, I'm sure everybody saw the injury to Bryce Harper as he was running out. I believe it was a ground ball. I believe an infield situation, a fielder's choice situation where he was running towards first base and ended up, over hyperextending one of his legs. And when he went down, it looked like it was going to be bad situation there for him. But he ends up going down, and all this talk about should they have started after 10? Should they have played in the rain delay? I know it was against San Francisco. They weren't making another trip to Washington D.C. So they had to get that game in there because, again, all these games matter, people. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people saying that the games do not matter. Every single game matters, whether it's in April, May, June, July, August, or even September. Every single one of these games matter. Hopefully Harper gets well soon. It looked like a bad injury. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a bad injury. Now, I don't think they're going to change anything to the bases. I've always been a guy that says I don't like my players sliding head first into bases when they're running the bases. This is a freak accident. It doesn't happen all the time. It certainly doesn't happen as much as people, getting hurt with their hand or their thumb or their shoulders or their elbows when they slide head first. So I'm a bigger component of the do not slide head first than change the bases. Freak accident. It sucks that it was against Harper. It sucks that it was one of the faces of this game. But there you go. So yeah. Yankees 2 more, one tonight, one tomorrow against the Mets, and then they will be on to Boston for a 3-game series. All right, on to the Ezekiel Elliott thing. Don't want to touch much on it. It's not like I have a bunch of facts or stats. It's not like I'm reading these stories. Just to make things clear, I am a football fan. I love football. I play fantasy football. My fantasy football draft is this weekend, in fact. So don't get me wrong, I do love football. It's just that, I do not. It's not like I don't have an NFL team. I'm not a diehard NFL fan. I don't wear a player's jersey, if you will, and that may be bad. I don't know. And if it is, who cares? I'm having fun time with fantasy. I still watch every single Sunday. So when it comes to Zeke and the Cowboys, it's not that I don't have an opinion. It's just I don't think it's a valuable or credible opinion because I'm coming from I don't care. It's domestic violence. It's whatever it is, and I'm just not a fan of it. They asked me, did the NFL do right by suspending, Ezekiel Elliott without any of the evidence? And, send a message. I'm not opposed to sending a message to somebody. We need to get this out of the game in general, out of sports. In fact, got to get it out of life in general. Now, it's not going to happen. Of course, domestic violence is going to be everywhere and anywhere. But do I feel sorry? No. 6 games, give it to them, let them sit out. Sorry, don't hit a woman, plain and simple. Especially if you're a professional athlete, either at Ohio State or if you're a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Just don't do it, period. And you wouldn't be in the situation. Ezekiel Elliott, congratulations, you played yourself. All right, on to the next thing. That's all I wanted to talk about, Zeke Elliott. Whatever. And I'm sure the Cowboy fans are gonna send hate at A-Flo Radio on Twitter, but that's fine. That's fine. You're gonna miss him for 6 games, and yeah, he's appealing it. I don't know how the appeal process works. To be honest, I don't care how the appeal process works. So just whatever happens, happens. If it's 6, if it's 4, if it's 2, it's none. They'll do whatever they got to do. Mentioned Lubbock Cooper again starting practice. Helmets look nice. Turf looks nice. It's gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be a great one. Coach Cat talking a lot that his team's not gonna be more the favorite. They're not gonna be a team that is going to be expected to win this district, and I think that's fine. I think they know, and he said it. They're still looking for their identity. There's still plenty of challenges for this football team, and I agree with them. And it's going to be a fun district. Again, it's one of those districts where anything can happen. Anybody can beat anybody on any single given week. And I know that's cliche. I know people like to say that all the time, but in this district, in this situation, I think it's true, and it's something that can happen. Cooper's going to have a favorable schedule. You have 6 games at home. Remember, last year you had 4 at home. Now you have 6 at home. You only travel really 3 times. At Randall, at Weatherford, and at Abilene Cooper. Everything else is in the city of Lubbock. So that's 7 games in the city of Lubbock. You're going to have a big fan base, a big following. Every game's going to mean something. So yeah, anything can happen in one of those games. I am going to start doing a pirate cast on... or a podcast, I'm going to call it Pirate Cast. That's going to be over at 107thescore.com. The new Lubbock sports station here in Lubbock, Texas, 100.7 The Score, a sister station to Double T 97.3. And 100.7 is the station where the Cooper games will be broadcast, and that's all sports. That might be breaking, but that's all sports. It's football, that's boys and girls basketball, that's baseball and softball. 100.7 FM The Score here in Lubbock, Texas. So there'll be some podcast links up there. There's a story link up there at .com as well. Some schedules. So it's good stuff. Go out there, check it out, and we appreciate it as well. I guess the last thing I wanted to touch on with the Pat Mahomes deal before I get out of here. I'll save the Tech football for tomorrow's show. So look out for the show tomorrow. A little bit more Tech football. Maybe my expectations and previews as their season gets going. Still got maybe 2 weeks before that, so just some time there. But I might touch on some Tech football tomorrow. Anyway, back to Pat Mahomes. Made his NFL debut last Friday night, and not great, but he didn't look bad either, right? He looked like, to me, ran the offense, okay. Again, playing with 3rd stringers, 4th stringers, whatever it may be, drives the team down, throws a passing touchdown, rolling to his right, doing things like that Pat Mahomes does. Stuff we're used to seeing. He does it, rolls to his right, throws it, nice pass. The receiver had to get up and go get it, but really put it on a place that only that receiver could go get it. So, hey, it's just one outing. It's just one game. Am I saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer? No. But am I saying he's going to start this season? No. But it looked good. It was exciting for my Chiefs, my Pat Mahomes, to go out there, throw a touchdown, run the offense, and look pretty good in that 3rd quarter when the Chiefs played. Who they put? The San Francisco 49ers. So I thought that was pretty good. And I guess the biggest news that came out of that the whole weekend thing was that the Chiefs did announce that Pat's going to be in that second slot, the backup quarterback. He's beating out the other two Joe Bears to get into that second spot. So if Alex Smith goes down between now and the end of the season, it's going to be Pat's team, Pat's ball. It's going to be Pat's go. So that's pretty exciting for Pat. Not the starter yet, but you got to start somewhere first, and that's being the backup. And now he's already there. So it's Smith 1, Mahomes 2, and the rest 3, 4, 5, or however many quarterbacks they have. It's going to be pretty exciting. Let's see. I've said I'm going to talk Tech football tomorrow. I already mentioned the Bryce Harper. Yankees and Mets tonight and tomorrow night before the Boston series. And that's pretty much it. Tech football tomorrow. Also going to try for Wayne Hutchinson Friday morning, Aiden Hammond Saturday morning to talk some English Premier League and really just soccer news, football news as well. The World Cup in 2026 here in the North American continent. So a lot to talk about with them, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for today. Wanted to keep it short. Didn't want to go too long here. Marissa and myself will do a show, and that'll be out tomorrow. Again, me and Marissa's show is not a sports show. It's kind of just a pop culture thing. We watch the Bachelorette. We watch The Bachelor. We commentate on that. We watch MTV's The Challenge. And we pretty much just talk about what's going on in the world right now that's not necessarily sports. Not everything has to be sports with us, and we might touch on it if something big comes up. But other than that, it's kind of just a fun show. I might do one of these every now and then, and I say every now and then, but whenever I have something good to say, I'll jump on the podcast, give you 15, give you 20 minutes or so to talk about stuff, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes. I'll be back tomorrow morning, I promise, with the Norris episode, and maybe even another sports edition of the A-Flo Show. Look out for the Pirate Cast going on the webs tonight at 107thescore.com. I'll be at the Pirate Scrimmage on Saturday, so everything's coming. Football's coming. Football is here. Baseball's getting good, so it's a good time to be a sports fan right now. Gonna get out of here, guys. Remember, you can follow me at A-Flo Radio on Twitter. Find this show on iTunes at A-Flo Show. Just search it there. Spreaker.com as well, the A-Flo Show. Several ways you can listen to the show. Thanks for listening. Hey, tell a friend. Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell family. Tell anybody. Your coworkers that something good is going down here. We're going to try to battle. We're going to try to fight. Really no competition. Just trying to get in my own voice out and not have to deal with the pathetic, crappy stuff that goes on some of those. So we'll get out of here. Appreciate it, guys. A-Flo Radio on Twitter. See you tomorrow.